Hi, hello again. Today's video is going to be on the Montek X1000, which you see sitting there, back of the van, which is currently powering my fridge up there between the seats, and also topping up my phone, and it's also in a minute it's going to be doing a bit of AC work on my omelette maker. Well, I've come out and about into Derbyshire to do this. Not the best location I could find, because it's bank holiday and Derbyshire's absolutely heaving, but this'll do, it's quiet enough. And also going to be having a look at some solar, because we're lucky enough today that the sun's out, so we'll be having a look at what you can use the Montek for, how you can charge it up when you're out and about on the road. Right, hi guys, I'm having a day off. I'm out here doing a bit of relaxing, so I thought I'd let you have a look at what the Montek can do. Let's just wait for this car. Let's still wait for this car. Another van. Right, yeah, I'm doing a slightly different review on the Montek, because there's lots of reviews out there and people are talking about all the numbers, all the specs. I'm going to do this ever so slightly different. I'll still give you a little bit about the numbers, but I'm going to show you, and here's another car. I'm going to show you a slightly different side of what it does for me when I'm out and about. The first thing I'm going to do is put my dinner on. I've got the old omelette maker ready to go. Eggs in. Done. But hey ho, Derbyshire's absolutely full up today because it's bank holiday. I thought I'd got off the beaten track a little bit, but it's not too bad. Anyway, that omelette maker is now on, so in about 7 minutes I'll have an omelette. That's running on AC, drawing about 800 watts from the Montek at the moment. The Montek's also powering the fridge and topping up my phone at the minute as well. Now, other things I use it for, I do like to have a little bit of food when I'm out and about. And generally I would go for gas for food, but I do have 3 or 4 gadgets that will run on the Montek, that omelette maker there being one of them. Also a toaster, a standard toast, I do like a bit of toast, and a sandwich toasting machine as well, and also the little sandwich warming box that you saw on the previous video on the Mer Powers. So anyway, thanks. So anyway, in about 7 minutes or so I should have an omelette, and then we'll start having a look at a little bit more about what the Montek does. Okay, welcome back. Now about helicopters. Peaceful in the countryside, yeah, but yeah, it's off. Right, omelette's done. Now the other good thing about the Montek, as I said before, it's running the fridge as well, which means I'm out in the middle of nowhere, but I've got the old omelette, I've got food, got more cars. I've really picked a shitty spot, but yeah, well. Right, got the omelette, but more importantly perhaps, this is ice cold. The next review is going to be better. This is ice cold, absolutely ice cold, and this is quite important. So let's get that dealt with. Beautiful. Got a widget in this as well, so it'll have a proper head on it. Cheers. Right, the old omelette's steaming away, so I'm going to have that. 2 secs. shut down the Montek on the AC side. Done. There you go, guys. Middle of nowhere. Nice warm omelette. Really cold beer. Somewhere to sit, and I'll get back to you in a short while. I'm back. The omelette was really nice, and all the cars and helicopters seem to have gone for a bit. Right, I'm going to have a look at some solar next. That's a panel that I keep in the van. Is 300 watt panel, 4-fold portable thing. So we're going to be having a nosy at that next. One of the gadgets I forgot to mention on my chair there, there's actually an electric seat cover, which is really handy for cold nights, etc. That also doubles up when I'm sleeping in the van. It also doubles up as a heated mattress on cold nights when it lays flat, and it works off the Montek again. Everything that I'm going to show you will work off of that today. There being the Montek. There's the really important bit just there, look. Look at that little beauty there, look. Anyway, moving on next, going to be having a look at some solar input from that 300 watt panel. Stay tuned. Quite a nice bright sunny day out in Derbyshire. One or two little clouds about, but nothing much. Panel's sitting there doing its job. And if you follow the wiring up, my little gadget that records the performance of that panel. Let's just shade that a wee bit. So you can actually see that's working at 24 volts, which it should be. Currently pumping 230 watts into the Montek, which is also showing on the screen there, but slightly less, showing 220 on there. Now the beauty about this solar input is it can be used while you're actually using the unit. So that particular unit, the Montek there, can actually deliver power and take in solar power at the same time, which is an absolute stonking little feature that it's got there. Quite nearly full actually. It was drawing 800 watts before into the omelette maker, but the 800 watts going out was being complemented by 230 watts going in. Now the capacity of the Montek is 1010 watt hours. So if you look at your appliances, anything you're going to be using, and thinking about the inverter as well, you can't go realistically go above 1000 watts output. But 1010 watts capacity, sodding motorbikes, 1010 watts capacity. Look at your gadgets, for example, the omelette maker there. That draws 850 watts or thereabouts. So if you look at that in watt hours, what that means is the Montek would run that for 1.1 hours, if you like, constantly. But the beauty is it only takes 7 minutes. So you do your sums, you look at 850 watts over 7 minutes is only drawing part of the remaining capacity out of the Montek. It doesn't take long to top it back up with that solar panel. Anything else that's drawing off of that? Currently, you might have just seen that DC jump up there. That's my fridge cycling on and off, but it's also topping my phone up as well. So you can see the DC output there. Now at the minute I'm on a bit of a winner because it's drawing 49 watts to feed the fridge and the phone. But while it's sending out the 48 watts, it's drawing in 220 watts. So in effect, I'm running the fridge, I'm running the phone from the solar panel with pass-through charging, if you like. We're just going to have a look at some of the features on the Montek now, but just to point out, I don't know why, but my beer seems to be faulty. It's only half full. Anyway. Right, we're still pulling in 235, 236 watts into this, but let's just have a look at some of the features of the actual unit while it's taking some charge on board. The case is rugged and shockproof. Also, if the flaps are closed, there are seals in there If this flap's closed on this side, the DC one on the other side, and it's only taking in solar, the unit is actually waterproof as well as shockproof. Now I find this unit to be absolutely superb for van life because it can take the knocks. This particular one is getting on a bit now. This is 2.5 years old now, and it's had a few bashes as it's been going in and out of the van. Also, the state of the potholes in the UK, it gets an awful lot of hammer while I'm driving around. So this has been, the last couple of years, 2.5 years, has coped with 50,000-60,000 miles of crappy potholes, and never put a foot wrong. It does actually cope with the bumps quite well. Looking into this side, there's a storage compartment there for the cables, and inside there is one of the cooling fans. Very important, by the way, that the doors are open when this thing's got its fans on, because this draws air in, and the other door on the other side takes the hot air out, passing air across the components inside. So very important that they're open if the fans are on. This is the UK model, as you'd expect it, as I'm in the UK. What we've got on this side is the AC switch, can't even speak. The LED light, if you'd need that for camping at night, or flashing feature for emergency use on there as well. One standard type UK socket and a shaver type socket as well on the AC side there. On the American version of this, you would get 2 standard US sockets on that side. Right, let's close that up a sec, spin it round. There's a nice, let's get a bit of extra wire for the fridge there. There's a nice TFT screen there, colour TFT screen, that gives you all the information about the inputs and the outputs, which is nice to have, keeps you well informed. Let's start having a look at the DC side of it. There we go. Right, the main power switch sits just there. That's the waterproof input there for the solar panels, and lots and lots of DC outputs, as you see on this side. There's the exhaust fan for the hot air. Seals again round it to make it waterproof when it's only doing this, solar charging. It doesn't matter if it's left out in the rain, because that socket is waterproof. Right, looking at the outputs, that's currently running the fridge, standard cigarette plug, 12 volts at 10 amps. There's a couple of 5521s sitting above that for DC 12 volt output. They can cope with 7 amps a piece. A couple of 5525s on that side, again 12 volt output, 10 amps this time. You'll notice I've got the USB-C socket in use. That's a PD socket, which is currently charging my phone. That can output up to 100 watts. And a couple of USB-A should I say, sockets down there. And there is the AC input for charging. Now you don't need a brick with this. It's just basically, there's the figure 8 lead straight from the socket in the house, because the charger is actually built in inside the unit. Now a little bit about charging. I'm still pulling in 235 watts solar into this just now. You can put up to 360 watts into this if your solar rig is big enough, which means, if you think about the capacity again, 1010 watt hours, 360 watts going in, you're looking at around about 3-4 hours if you're getting the maximum solar input from flat to fully charged. The AC input, a couple of 100 watts, would take about 5 hours to charge it. There is another charger you can buy, an external charger, which plugs into this socket here. That's an optional extra. And what you can do is you can input 360 watts simulated solar from that, plus the couple of 100 watts that you can put in there. Getting on for 560 watts, you can charge this from flat in as little as 2 hours if you wish to buy that extra charger. I've got one of those at home, but the solar's doing quite nicely at the minute. Oh, you can tell this has had a bit of grief. There's a pebble stuck in there. But anyway, right, and coming back to the front of it, top of the unit opens up, and inside there it stores its own onboard solar panel. Now, It's only 80 watts, can't be much bigger than that because it wouldn't fit in the case. And the other thing about it, again, to get it to fit in the case, it couldn't have any kickstands on it. Now you can see, even with it being slimline and no kickstands, it can be a little bit of a bugger to get the case to close if you don't have the wires set just in the right spot. That's very, very important. Yep, got it stuck. It's very, very important that you do spend a bit of time locating those wires correctly if you're going to store this in the lid. Reason being is, you've probably just seen the catches are plastic, and if you have got the wires trapped and the lid's not closed properly, you're probably going to break these because you're going to put too much force on them. Perfectly fine if the panel's sitting nice and neat and flush and the wires are sitting nice and neat and flush inside it. But there has been a couple of occasions where people haven't done that, they've broke these and then gone nuts. But they are fine if you do it right. Okay, right, thinking about uses now, just a bit of a recap on uses. 4 electric cooking items I run off of this in the van. I also power phones, recharge laptops, recharge tablets, etc. Run the fridge off of this as well. All of my entertainment on the night, I can watch films on the projector, etc. As long as the sun's out, I can top it up again the day after. And if there is sunshine, and looking at what we've got here, that 200 and odd watts I was getting, I can go off grid easily for a week with this, easily. If there's no sunshine and I can't top it up without mains power, I still get a good few days out of it. And there's a backup unit that I use as well in the front there, a Bluetti. There'll be more about that later because that's also a long-term test. Now, absolutely brilliant unit. What I really do like about it as well is how thin it is. It's so easy to move around with this handle. Shockproof, so it will put up with the bangs. You might notice there's a lot of wear and tear on that handle because this one is 2.5 years old. It's getting on a little bit now, but one of the really, really good things is this goes right back to the setup of Montek. This is actually, oh here we go, what's this? Sounds like a Harley. It was a Harley, wow. Right, this is a pre-production model. Now, one of the really good things I like about Montek is that the owner, Monty, is a bit of a perfectionist, and because this was a pre-production model, obviously there were a couple of little niggles with it. He spotted the niggles and fully sorted the niggles, and the current retail unit is absolutely superb. No issues whatsoever. It's a fantastic unit. It's been well developed based on the 1 or 2 little glitches that there were with this one. Having said that, this being one of the original ones, the first ones ever made, it's 2.5 years old, but you're looking at it now performing exactly as it should, 2.5 years after it was delivered. Now if this one, the pre-production one, can do that, I'm damn sure that the retail units, which are tons better, are going to have a long life. Speaking of life, the batteries that are in this NMC pouch cells are good for 2,000 cycles down to 80%, which basically means one cycle being a full recharge, a full discharge is one cycle. It can do that 2,000 times, and the battery capacity will then be down to 80%, which doesn't mean that the unit's knackered, it just means it's got less capacity. But look at any electrical device you've got, like a phone, tablet, anything like that, there's always degradation in the batteries, but 2,000 cycles down to 80% is a bit of a winner. That's years and years of usage out of one of these things. Absolute stonker. I've really got a lot of time for these things. Really, really, really good unit. I'd recommend one to anybody. Right, we're signing off now, guys. Just one last thought about the Montek. If you do want one of these in the UK, you can get them on eBay. But what I really would recommend is, if you're on Facebook, have a look for the Montek Solar Club, and you're going to get the best deal anywhere if you join the Montek Solar Club. Sort you one of these out through that. Right, thinking about next time, because I'm going to enjoy the rest of my beer in the sunshine now. Thinking about next time, it's going to be the Rayar, a little 600 watt unit, a couple of AC sockets on that one. Nice tidy little unit, as you'd expect all the DC ones on the front there. Nice little screen. I think they've made a nice job of this. I'll be doing a review on that one next time. Try for now.